ultimate rage, coming back with yet another live here in the No Cap Zone, where we have a strict dress code. Not get the hell off with that capping ass bullshit. The only kind of cap that we allow around these parks is your thinking cap. Otherwise, you got to get the fuck up out of my face like right about now. Because around these parts, all we care about are the facts, the data, the truth, the information, the evidence. You know, things that can actually be demonstrated in real life. You know, like in real time. Like live, like while we're alive and sound mind and body and sane. Because otherwise, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And to tell you the truth, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's why we got to talk about it. So let's talk about it. What are we talking about? The same thing we always talking about. The fact that this is not the best that we could be. This is not, matter of fact, what are we doing? What exactly are we doing as a human race, as American citizens, as earthlings, as conscious beings? What exactly are we doing? What are we working towards? What are we striving for? What are we striving towards? In the grand scheme of all of reality, in the grand scheme of time, in all of time, by the end of all time, what will we have hoped to accomplish? And the problem is, we don't have this conversation nearly enough. That's why I get on here to posit the question to you, to try to get your mind working and thinking about what exactly are we doing and what should we do? What should we be doing? What are the best courses of action and why? Why? Why should we even think about all of this stuff? Well, simple, because, well, what it appears we're doing is working towards our self-destruction. That's why I like to show y'all the facts, data, statistics, okay? Because according to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, it is now 85 seconds to midnight. Basically, we are on the wrong track. We are moving at the wrong pace. We are moving in the wrong, incorrect direction. If we were actually attempting to improve our collective quality of life, we are failing. That's basically what this is saying. What this is saying is there are a lot of issues that could potentially threaten our ability to continue to survive. And the powers that be, who you would think whose jobs it is to like address these failures, are like failing to address the failures. They won't even talk about it. The President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, the Secretary of State of the United States, the Cabinet of the United States, the Senators of the United States, the Representatives of the United States, the judicial jury fucking judges of the United States. Yeah, all of them, every single one of them have failed miserably to even think about this stuff, let alone actually talk about it, actually directly address it, and then like make it a big deal to the American people about how this is like the main threat of our national security. The fact that like we have all these existential threats that literally threaten our ability to be secure. And these fuckers who you would think is jobs it is to secure the nation, right? Because they're fighting for national security. Yeah, they're failing miserably. That's why I do this live, so that we can bring this up every day, every single day. That's why I need your help to hit that like, hit that follow, hit that subscribe, to share everywhere. Head to the website, offthe9.com, because how are we going to address this shit? The powers that be are failing miserably. What else is there to do? Hope that maybe one day they just stop failing? Because if that's what you're hoping for, hey, I got a motherfucking bridge in fucking Terabitha that I can sell you. The bridge to Terabitha, actually. Yeah. Whatever the fuck. Just $100 bajillion and you can have all the naming rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can fucking live for a billion bajillion years, happy as hell, in happy-go-lucky land somewhere out there in another dimension outside of space and time and stuff. Yeah. You'll be able to meet up with Lucky, Lucky the Labrador, Lucky the Labby. from back when you were 5, yeah, you get to meet up and all that shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get to go on a date with that one girl that you fucking liked before she died of cancer at the age of fucking 12. Yeah, because life is so fucking cruel. Yeah, all that shit. Fam, this is real life. I get that we have nostalgia. Look, I've been going down the nostalgia road myself. I've been looking at, I literally just watched the Ninja Turtles 1 and 2, you know what I'm saying? Because I love the 90s, you know what I'm saying? So, and before that, I watched New Jack City, and I've seen all these movies a billion times, but it's different when you're watching them as an adult. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, I get nostalgia. I get it. I get you want to feel like you did when you were a child. But we're adults now. We're adults. We got to put our big boy, big girl, big whatever the fuck you are, whatever the fuck you identify as pants on, so that we can pay it forward to the actual children now, so that we can set them up for success, not failure, not confusion, not bullshit, not with misinformation and obvious disinformation. We want to arm them with as much as we possibly can so that they can make the best decisions moving forward. We want to arm them with as much accurate data. We want to arm them with every tool possible. And to me, these best tools are science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, logic, reason, fact-based evidence. All this shit buoyed by empathy, so that we as a society can continue to improve. But see, we can't improve if we actually don't understand where we are right now and then determine what improvement actually looks like. This is why we have these conversations. When these people get on the fucking lives, when they get into the comments, well, why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? If you don't believe what they believe, then why do you have to care what they have to say? Why can't you just let them believe what they want to believe? Well, because I just showed y'all we're 85 seconds to midnight. We no longer can just let people believe what they want to believe if we want to continue to survive. Now, maybe some of y'all are retarded as fuck. Maybe some of y'all are suicidal as fuck. Maybe some of y'all are suffering from all kinds of psychological disorders, fucking some kind of depression, anxiety, or whatever the fuck, and it's got you really, really in the fucking mental disturbance. I mean, we are in the midst of a mental health and substance abuse crisis. It's such a crisis we can't even talk about it, because if I say the wrong word, I might get fucking age restricted, or I might just get restricted. I might get fucking suspended. I might get banned because I said the R word, the T word, the B word, the G word, the G word, the T word, the T word, because it might trigger somebody because there's something wrong with their fucking brain. And our infrastructure to address these issues has failed miserably to properly get people the help that they need. And the powers that be that have the resources, that have the positions, that have the fucking people, the personnel to do it, they're failing miserably to do it. Matter of fact, here's what we're seeing. I just saw this article right before I got on here. I didn't even fully read it yet. But check this out. Give me a second. Let me pull it up for you. Give me a minute. Check this. This is according to the New York Times. The New York Times, it says, Trump strips job protections from thousands of federal workers. The policy change makes it easier for the president to discipline or remove up to 50,000 employees, another push in the administration's campaign to reshape the federal workforce. By the way, note that time. That's February 5th, 2026 by Eileen Sullivan, reporting from Washington at 4:27 p.m. Eastern Time. That would be 3:27 p.m. Central Time, where I live in Chicago, Illinois, on the South Side, 079. Auburn Gresham, Killer War Crazy. The Trump administration finalized a new policy on Thursday that would strip job protections from up to 50,000 federal workers, a move that would make it easier for President Trump to remove or discipline them in his latest effort to dismantle the federal workforce. Until now, the roughly 4,000 people appointed by the president, known as political appointees, were the only federal workers who could be fired at will. The policy issued on Thursday allows the administration to expand that number to include career employees whom the administration considers to also have policy-related roles. For these employees, any whistleblower complaints would now be handled inside their agencies rather than by the Independent Office of Special Counsel as they had previously. Um, The 255-page rule did not say precisely which positions would be affected. The White House will ultimately make that decision, Scott Cooper, the director of the Office of Personnel Management, said on Thursday. Um, and it also says the announcement represents another push in the administration's campaign to reshape the federal workforce, which has included mass firings, layoffs, pressured resignations, and early retirements. In total, about 352,000 employees left the federal government in 2025, according to the most recent data from the Personnel Agency. The new policy is also the latest step the administration has taken to replace nonpartisan civil servants with employees who are ideologically aligned with the president. Okay, this is what happens when you live in what's called a crazyocracy. When the loonies always are in control and they do all kinds of shit. Now, a lot of people would be like, oh yeah, Trump obviously crazy. Obviously crazy. But the problem is they've all been crazy. I don't know if you know this. How do you think we got here? You think we got here because every administration, every presidential administration has just been so wonderfully amazing at working towards improving our collective health and wellness, constantly working to improve our lives. And that's why we're 85 seconds to fucking midnight, the closest it's ever been in the fucking history of the fucking existence of the goddamn doomsday clock, which is like 80 years, right? They've been doing such a swell ass job that we're closer and closer and closer and closer to midnight. All these fucking rich fucks, all these corporations, all these fucking government officials that are always working so hard, working to protect our national security. Yeah, they have severely undermined our national security, which is why we're on the road to self-destruction, and these fuckers don't seem to give a fuck. This information is publicly available. Anybody has access to this information, and you would think the Central Intelligence Agency would be first on the motherfucking dibs because it's kind of like their job. Like they have all the intelligence centralized there. Hence, Central Intelligence Agency. You would think that, as a result, the Central Intelligence Agency would say, hey, this is kind of like a problem. And since it is like our job to protect national security, as well as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as well as the fucking ATF and the fucking NSA and, fucking DHS, like, even though the DHS might shut down soon because they got to figure out a budget for that. Because these fuckers in the DHS seem to forgot they're supposed to be like enforcing the law, not like violating it. Like they forgot that, like, hey, the American citizens, like, they're the ones we're supposed to protect, not endanger, because then that undermines the whole reason you exist to begin with. And maybe fucking the DHS needs to do a better job of screening these loonies and like not hire loonies, because you undermine your ability to do your job and to gain the trust of the public, which I thought was the fucking point. Then you wonder why motherfuckers want to defund the police. You justify why you probably should be defunded. Because you can talk all that crime shit you want, but how the fuck is law enforcement the criminals? The ones that are literally violating their own laws. Hey, in order to enforce the laws, you have to actually know which laws you're enforcing. And I thought this thing right here, the Constitution, I thought this was like the most important law. The most important law book of all the law books is literally the rules of the United States. The United States Constitution. Y'all talk about y'all love the Constitution so much. You're such American fucking patriots. You could have fooled me. Because it just so happens literally every single time a law enforcement officer, agent, person, the moment that they kill an American citizen, they fail to mention that, oh yeah, every time that happens, they're violating the Constitution. They're violating their own Constitution. They're violating the law. Because, see, it says here that there's this Fifth Amendment. Yeah, this number 5. There's like a bunch of them, but in particular, we have the Fifth Amendment, which says, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. Due process. Due process of law. Due process of law. That's in the fucking Constitution. I don't know if you know about this, but that's why I inform you every single day. That's why I show you every single day, to show you how illegitimate this government has been this entire time. They violate their own laws. They piss and shit and barf on the fucking Constitution damn near every day, and they've been doing this lawlessly this whole time. Doesn't matter which fucking administration, which political party is in office. Democrat, Republican, Republican, Democrat. Democrat, Republican, Republican, Democrat. They all piss and shit all over the Constitution. All the time. They are miserable failures at upholding the Constitution that they swore. They swore to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that they were going to uphold. And then they make these ridiculous decisions where they just fuck shit up for like no good reason. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that, oh yeah, the government is so perfect. It was so perfect before Trump got in office, because we know that shit is a bunch of fucking cap. Because we wouldn't have gotten to this point if his predecessors had been doing such a wonderful and amazing job. We wouldn't have gotten to Trump at all if all these administrations and parties were doing such a fabulous job at helping us create a well-functioning society for ourselves. They've done such a disgustingly miserable job, which is the reason why American political discourse is disgustingly shitty. We don't even actually talk about the core issues, the core problems, the ultimate issues, the ultimate problem. The ultimate problem being, what the fuck are these fuckers doing? And why are they doing that? See, here's the issue. A lot of these fuckers are delusional as fuck. A lot of these fuckers are selfish as fuck. A lot of these fuckers are out of their fucking minds, psychopaths, ignorant, buffoonish, delusional dimwits, corrupt, fucking antisocial, maniacal, malevolent, fucking evil, fucking selfish, greedy assholes. They've done a fantastic job exploiting us. They've done a hyper efficient job of extracting resources from us on some parasitic type of shit and providing us with nothing, only worsening our situation, our civilization. That's why I say America is the scam capital, the capital of the fucking world, the divided states of corporations, because even our name is cap. Where the fuck are we united at? The only time you see us unite is during the Super Bowl. And what gets accomplished other than all these corporations extracting more resources from us? Yeah, they're able to spend billions of dollars so that they can make billions of dollars. And we get helped how? Because we're getting entertained by these athletes who are making hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars or just millions of dollars. They're making millions. How are they improving our lives other than by just entertaining us? Because we see how they're extracting resources from us. People go out and buy, consume. And the corporations get richer and richer. We get how these corporations get paid. You get how the banks are making their money, hitting us with their fucking bullshit fees and all that dumb shit. But how does all of this actually help to improve our lives, to maintain our collective ability to survive and thrive? How did we get to 85 seconds to midnight if all of these fucking entities and individuals who own all the means of production, who own all the fucking businesses, who control so many assets and they've hoarded so many assets, have so much fucking money? How could we have these suboptimal conditions if these individuals were doing such an amazing job helping us create a well-functioning society? I'll tell you how. They don't! They're not helping us create a well-functioning society. That's why they play these fucking mind games, these psyop games. That's why it's so difficult for us as people to get on the same page. That's why every single day I do a live on TikTok, the trolls find their way every single day. The same trolls will keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back, playing these bitch-ass games to try to distract us, to try to stop us, to try to fucking get us shut down, to try to get us to violate the community guidelines. Playing these goofy ass games because we're in the end game. These fuckers have nothing. They don't have an actual argument. They don't have any real facts, data, information, statistics, any of that. They're here specifically to play these games, to distract us, to try to stop us. These loonies that get on here and report us because we're anti-Semitic, because they want to make up any and every reason to try to delegitimize us because they have no argument. They can't just present us with facts, data, information, statistics that show us how exactly they're helping us, because it is clear that they're not helping us. That's why we call them out every single day, because the louder we get, the more that they're going to have to address us, because when we, the people, are actually united, these fuckers can no longer continue to exploit us. That's why I say all the time, in modern times, in the day and age of now, the information age, there is no good reason as to why this bullshit, this suboptimal bullshit has to continually persist anymore. Now that we have the ability to connect, now that we have the ability to reach so many fucking people, what reason do we have to not unite? Because now, if you're a person who cares about our collective ability to survive and thrive, what reason would you have to not want to be a part of a movement that is calling these fuckers out and demanding that they reverse the course starting today? Why wouldn't you want to hit that like, hit that follow, and go to off9.com and show us that you want to be a part of the ultimate paradigm shift? The team that's bringing about the singularity once and for all, where all of this garbage ass bullshit can stop, where all this gaslighting ass nonsense can stop, where we can literally use what I call the fucking Thesian method to change every fucking brick at a time to build a new ship so that it actually works in our favor. Because the one thing we have are each other. That is all we need. By coming together, by pooling our resources, by working together interdependently with synergy, we can demand these fuckers to not get the fuck off with that goofy shit. Let's have real conversations. Stop playing these fucking censorship games. Stop trying to play these word games. Oh, you said the R word, so we're going to suspend you because you violated the community guidelines. You said the S word. You might have hurt somebody's feelings. And if you say the S word, yeah, we're going to suspend you for 14 days now. Fuck all that shit. Let's get real. Let's get fucking real. That's the reason why when I get on here, when I get on Substack, that's why I moved the No Cap Zone to Substack. That's why I still do it. I don't care how many fucking views I get on Substack because I know I'm doing the right thing. But the important thing is I can say what the fuck needs to be said, and I don't have to worry about somebody trying to play semantic games with me. Because these fuckers, they love to play these bullshit-ass semantic games so that they can try to distract from the conversation. They employ all of these bullshit tactics as methods to try to distract and derail the conversation so that we argue over stupid-ass fucking bullshit instead of the actual subjects at hand. They want to say, oh, well, like say as an example, right? Somebody earlier on TikTok, a troll, obviously, came on and started saying, hey, why don't you like declare your support for Israel? I'm like, no. Are you saying that you're anti-Semitic? You know, they play that stupid shit. They play that dumb shit, that crazy shit, that retarded shit. That's why I call it retarded, because that shit is retarded. And I'm going to tell them it's retarded because it's retarded. Miss me with that tard talk-ass bullshit. We ain't playing with your weak-ass gotcha games. Because we see who you are. That's why we call these sock puppets out. Because we know who they are. We know that they always want to come at us because they are working diligently to stop us. Because these are the fuckers that constantly benefit from our suffering. Right? I am a humanist. Not only am I a humanist, I'm a transhumanist. What that means is I care about humanity, and I care about humanity fucking overcoming the obstacles that our biology, our natural biology has presented to us. I believe in our ability to transcend our biology. Hence transhumanism. We can become superhuman. We can enhance our physical and cognitive capabilities in ways that we never considered possible. And this is why a lot of the discourse about AI pisses me off. Because people are always worried about the wrong thing. They're worried about, oh, what if AI becomes too smart? What if AI becomes like too powerful? And blah, blah. Why aren't people thinking about how AI can help us become super powerful? I say all the time, a tool is only as good as the one who wields it. A tool can be used to help us. A tool can be used to hurt us, and everything in between. Depends on the purpose you're using it for. Therefore, if we collectively decide to use AI to help us improve our quality of life, to help us improve our physical and mental, psychological, cognitive capabilities, then what the fuck are we using it for? In fact, what are we doing actually? What exactly are we fighting for? What exactly are we striving for? We do these lives so that we can answer these questions, so that we can have a real conversation and that we can all get on the same page of agreeing what we should be doing and why. Okay? Because ultimately, we want to understand this nature of our reality. It is the greatest mystery that has fucking bothered us for forever. And I don't know about you, but I want to find the answers right now. I'm not trying to hear no bullshit arguments. I'm not trying to hear no excuses. I'm not trying to get in no debates with anybody unless these debates lead to us bettering our ability to figure this shit out. If you want to come here and bicker with me over some sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit, that conversation is over. You lost. All of you theists out there, I'm sorry. Y'all have had multiple thousands of years to show us that your ideology even remotely comports to our reality. You have failed. You have failed literally fucking miserably. You can't show us anything at all. You can't show us that your ideology literally helps us understand reality. When we ask you the most basic questions, where is your supernatural, super intelligent, super deity thing? Where is that super omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent thing that y'all are so obsessed with? Why is it so difficult for you to show us this stuff that y'all claim is so real? And why can't y'all figure out how to use it to actually accomplish anything useful in the world, in any real world scenario? Like any real world scenario, right? Nancy Guthrie is still missing. I don't know if y'all know this, but she's still missing. That apparently, allegedly, from headlines I've seen, they found blood on the steps, but they still believe she's out there somewhere. Hey, why don't y'all ask the Lord, right? Why don't you ask the super intelligent super thing to just give you the answer? If it was so wonderful and so true and so real, then why can't y'all show us right now that this thing is real and that we can use this thing to accomplish major things or even minor, like real life things, real life accomplishments? How come we experience all of these horrible things and y'all can't seem to figure out how to solve it despite there being so many of you, 200 million Christians all throughout America, 2.4 billion across the world, and not a single one of you can demonstrate your sci-fi fantasy thing that you claim is so wonderful and so amazing? Why can't you show us that it's actually useful in any tangible, meaningful way right now? I get all of these comments all the time, these people that say, God told me to tell you some dumb shit, some retarded shit, some tar talk shit, but they never can provide me with the cure for cancer, with the solution for fucking poverty, or method for preventing cystic fibrosis, or a way that we can remove all the microplastics from the air, the water, the soil, and the food supply. They provide nothing of actual value. At best, they'll come to me and be like, hey, just wanted to let you know Jesus loved you. That's the best they got. And I call cap on that. That's why I don't believe Jesus is real. And I believe that these people are delusional as fuck. Because if this Jesus character is actually real, as these people claim, and if Jesus has these attributes that they ascribe to him, omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence, it would demonstrate that to me right the fuck now, in a real way. right? I show y'all this type of shit every single fucking day, right? So I already showed y'all the doomsday clock, but just in case, to show you again, Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, it is now 85 seconds to midnight. If Jesus loved me, he would address this and solve this right now. Instead of 85 seconds to midnight, why don't you just push it to infinity? Push it to infinity right now. Instead of 85 seconds, how about 85 to the infinite power? How about that? How about we ensure completely human salvation, human persistence? You want to show us you're the savior? You want to say you're the savior? Save us from ourselves. Help us push it from 85 seconds to infinity, where human existence is just a fucking established fact. The same way 2 plus 2 is 4. The way you can't divide by 0. Yeah, humans exist. Let's just make that a solidified fact. And not just leave it up to chance. Not just hope and wish that some supernatural, super intelligent, super thing is gonna fucking work in our favor. Right? Or like how I show y'all this all the time. Every day. Every single day. Vision of Humanity, which has the Global Peace Index. All right, out of 163 countries, with number 1 being the most peaceful and number 163 being the least peaceful, America ranks at 128. With number 1 being the most peaceful country in the world and number 163 being the least peaceful country in the world, we, the supposedly United States of America, rank 128. Right? Marjorie Taylor Greene was literally just warning of a potential fucking civil war. We might be in a civil war. How can that be? Why would we be teetering on a civil war if 2/3 of the country, some 200 million people, are in direct connection, directly interfacing with the ultimate super intelligence that has all the fucking answers? Explain the discrepancy. All of the people in fucking Congress, 90% of Republicans, 80% of Democrats are Jesus freaks. President's a Jesus freak. Vice president's a Jesus freak. Fucking Secretary of State Jesus freak. The whole cabinet Jesus freaks. I'm talking about super duper Christy Christian Jesus freaks. The fucking Supreme Court's a bunch of Jesus freaks. Then all the fucking legislators all across the country are Jesus freaks. I mean, literally 2/3 of the American population, some 200 plus million people are Jesus freaks. And yet we're so low on the Global Peace Index. Now, you would think that if all these people were directly interfacing with the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that has all the answers, that we could at least be in the top 50. You would think. I mean, like, I'm not even trying to say we should be number 1, even though if we were the supposedly greatest country in the world, that would seem like a pretty great thing to do, to be like the most peaceful country in the world. But then again, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just the loony. Maybe peace is just so stupid. Maybe I'm just out of my fucking mind. Maybe I'm retarded. Maybe being peaceful is stupid as fuck. Maybe we should just drop nukes every fucking where. How about this? Fuck a nuke. Why don't we take it to antimatter? Let's build antimatter weapons and go super. If we gonna go nuclear, we might as well go all the way. Fuck going nuclear. Why not go all the way? Next level. Antimatter, baby. Let's hit them with a motherfucking goddamn antimatter weapon. That's why we gotta have conversations about what we are doing and why. Because these types of things I just talked about, hit them with an antimatter weapon. No. How about no? I was being sarcastic in case you didn't understand. I didn't literally mean hit him with an antimatter weapon. What I'm saying is, why are we fucking fighting for what? Because the fact of the matter is, we are all human beings. I don't know if you know this. We're all human. All of us, Homo sapiens, we're fucking human beings. We all share the same planet. We're all Earthlings. I wonder who named the planet Earth to begin with. Where the fuck did Earth come from? I have no idea. Who coined the term? Shit like that. Why can't we figure out shit like that? Like, who came up with the word Earth? Who named the planet Earth first? And why Earth? What the fuck does that mean? Why that word? Why not or some shit? But the fact of the matter is, we're all Earthlings, fam. We share the same planet. We share the same existence. We have yet to determine whether or not there's other life forms out there in the universe, which is the core of the Fermi paradox, that despite the age of the universe, 13.8 billion years of age, the universe is, give or take, and the fact that all these billions of galaxies exist, with each galaxy hosting billions of stars, with each star hosting 1.6 planets per star, and who knows how many moons, you would think that intelligent alien life would just be all over the place. Like, even if you had a small, tiny percentage, you're talking about a fucking literal astronomical number of celestial objects in the universe. So even a small percentage of that is still an insane number. And despite all of that, we have no clear-cut, concrete evidence for the existence of alien life, and we don't know why. There's still so much about our existence that we have yet to determine. There's still so much to discover about reality in terms of mapping it out, in terms of different phenomena that exist, and the laws of physics and the theory of everything and all that type of shit. We need to be figuring it out. We need to be all hands on deck. Imagine if instead of 200 million people subscribing to some ancient sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit scam that literally doesn't work because it's a scam, these people were actually contributing positively to answering these questions using the scientific method. Imagine how much we could accomplish in such a short amount of time. People are working overtime to overcomplicate this process. They keep wanting to fucking purport this ancient sci-fi fantasy lunacy that simply doesn't work. And what I mean, to be specific, is Christianity, at least here in America. All forms of theism and all throughout the world. But here in America, Christianity is the most popular, which is why 2/3 of the population subscribe to it. And yet, we're 85 seconds to midnight. How can 200 million people subscribe to an ideology that miserably fails to address these types of existential issues, that directly reject even acknowledging these existential issues, even though these people come together weekly to fellowship in the Lord, but they're not having conversations about how to address, let alone accurately, effectively, and efficiently solve major world and major national issues that threaten our national security and our very lives. They don't even seem the least bit concerned at all. I show this 128 out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index nearly every day. And they don't seem to give a fuck. They don't ever have an answer, and they don't seem to want to have an answer. They don't even care. They don't even try. We mention this every single day, and despite 2.4 billion of them throughout the world and 200 million of them here in America, none, I repeat, zero of them seem to have a real worthy answer. An answer that helps us explain why they consistently and persistently fail to help us move up on the Global Peace Index. They don't even seem to be bothered, even though there's so many of them, and they have the direct interface to the supernatural, super intelligent, super thing that supposedly has all the power that could just push us to number one right now if it really was that powerful. If Jesus really loved me, it really exists, and it can do all things, you can do all things through Christ, then why can't we seem to do anything useful? Like, move up on the Global Peace Index, move up highly to the point where we're number one and we're making the world awesome so that we don't have to have these ridiculous conversations anymore, where we can actually have uplifting conversations where we can build on our collective wisdom and build on our collective abilities and live harmoniously and work together interdependently with synergy to consistently, constantly improve upon things to make things more safer and more logical and more reasonable, to better secure our collective wellness, to better secure our nation, to better secure our lives, our very lives, our liberty and our property, where we actually prioritize our collective wellness, our collective survivability, our ability to survive and thrive, and optimizing our society for our collective benefit, for the greater purpose of finally discovering the nature of our reality and our place in it. Because otherwise, what's the point? If you can't show me that you're working towards that, then what the fuck are you working towards? Oh, trying to distract us, you're trying to deny us, you're trying to work against us. Yeah, that makes sense because you benefit from the current state of affairs. You like having your super high office in the fucking the that building downtown. You love feeling exclusive and getting invited to private parties and getting private dancers and helping the fucking human trafficking industry out. Oh, wait, my bad. Excuse me. Didn't mean to offend you, even though we have the data showing that you minor fuckers have been fucking minors this whole fucking time. Forgive me for stating facts and data and information. You're right. I'm supposed to just pretend like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? I'm just supposed to ignore all these pastors and priests and government officials and high public officials and high profile celebrities, actors, rappers, fucking all these individuals and organizations that engage in this behavior, that enable this behavior, and that get rich off of this behavior, that have created whole industries with this behavior. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No. That's why I show y'all these news articles like this one from the Cincinnati Enquirer from 6 hours ago about how a Covington pastor admits to sexually abusing a 14-year-old girl at church. I say this all the time, all the time. You are more likely to get raped at a church than anywhere else. Exhibit A, the fact that this shit is every day. Every day. Every single day. I mean, look at this shit. Everything about this shit is hilarious. I mean, it's not hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious in a fucked up way. It's fucked up. It's all fucked up. But it's hilarious how this shit gets treated like it's normal. How they treat us like we're the crazy ones, like we're the weirdos. Like, look at this. From the New York Post, the NY Archdiocese accuses insurance company of double dealing on sex abuse cases, posing as victims as rights groups. And by the way, a Pacoima pastor accused of using his role to sexually abuse minors in LA. This fucking piece of shit. But I mean, this is par for the course, man. Like, I mean, think about this shit. The fact that this is even a sentence, and look at the time, note that time, note that time. by Carl Campanelli, or however you pronounce that, Campanile, published today at 6:55 a.m. Eastern Time. That would be 5:55 a.m. my time, Central Time, today, February the 5th of 2026. And look at this shit. The Archdiocese of New York is accusing its insurance company of waging a shadow campaign against the church by moonlighting as a sex abuse victims' rights group. The bombshell claims of fraud and sabotage were made as part of a lawsuit filed by the Archdiocese against Chubb, the insurer defending it against more than 1,500 child sex abuse claims. You can't write this shit, bro. You can't write this shit. You can't write it. You can't write it. You can't write it. The gall, the sheer gall of these motherfucking rapist motherfuckers. These rapist minor fuckers. Because clearly they can't handle. They can't not fuck minors. They can't not fuck minors, bro. They can't not keep getting caught for fucking minors. And so for them to be like, yo, we're calling for fraud. We're suing for fraud. But check this. You can't you can't write it, except they did write it. A source close to the church claimed that Chubb was trying to force the Archdiocese, which serves 2.8 million Catholics, serving them what? Nothing, a scam, to declare bankruptcy so that it would have to pay out fewer claims in sex abuse litigation against the church. Other Catholic dioceses, including Albany, Rockville Center, and Rochester, filed for bankruptcy protection under the crush of sex abuse claims, because these minor fuckers can't stop fucking minors literally everywhere. I'm talking about there are these $100 million settlements all over the country for this same reason. That's why I find it strange that they're not talking about it. I mean, look at this. This is what it says at the very, very bottom, buried at the very fucking bottom. The Archdiocese in December agreed to negotiate a settlement to compensate 1,300 people who have accused priests and staff lay members of child sex abuse, and is working to raise $300 million to cover the costs. $300 million. So, like I said, these $100 million lawsuits happening all across the country. I mean, in New York State alone, this is an NYC, $300 million they're trying to raise. They're trying to raise like they ain't already got it, right? All these other cities in New York, Albany, fucking Buffalo, Syracuse, all these other cities, hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements per city. Per city. I think Albany might have been like 8 million, but like Buffalo was like 276 or some shit. 200 plus million. I can tell you that. You add them all up together, it's north of $1 billion of settlements in New York State alone. And that's just with like 5 cities. Who knows how many other cities where they got hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements in New York. But we know that in other states, and they have other cities that are paying hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements. Hell, in LA alone, they done spent $1.5 billion with 2 settlements, like a $600 million settlement in fucking 2008, and then like another $880 million settlement a couple years ago in 2024. In LA alone, in Los Angeles alone. And then they got other cities in California and other cities in other states with hundreds of millions of dollars. Fucking New Orleans, they just did like a $200+ million settlement. All these archdioceses all across the country, you would think that this would be the biggest story in the world. Because if you ask me, this sounds like a fucking RICO case. This sounds like a RICO case. This should be federal. This is a criminal organization. If there were any other fucking group, any other organization that was accused of this many fucking rapes, this many fucking crimes all over the country, these minor fuckers would be put under the jail. Motherfuckers will be fucking getting all kinds of plea deals so they can snitch on this motherfucker, that motherfucker. No, he told me. No, he did it. No, he told me I had to do it. He was gonna kill my family and all this fucking crazy shit. No, but for some reason, we giving these minor fuckers a slap on the wrist. We not even fucking bringing motherfuckers. We hardly bringing motherfuckers up on charges. And they gotta fork over these hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions, fam. They gotta declare bankruptcy and shit. First of all, where was the Lord to prevent all of this shit from happening in the fucking first place? Where is the Lord to hold these minor fuckers accountable? Where is the Lord to prevent these minor fuckers from being representatives of His in the first place? Why would the Lord pick so many fucking child rapists to represent it on such a huge scale? Why would the Lord want this horrendously, disgustingly terrible PR to fuck over His campaign? If He wanted to save souls, why would He allow rapists to fucking rape children so much at such an extremely hyper-efficient level? We're talking about all over the place. These minor fuckers got caught so many fucking times. They got to fork over hundreds of millions of dollars every fucking time. I gotta check and make sure I didn't get raped. What the fuck? I need some of that motherfucking money. Shit. These minor fuckers just have been rampantly fucking outrageous, just freely just raping kids at such an extremely high rate, at an extremely high level. And this is not getting anywhere near the coverage that it deserves. I'm literally doing a live right now. It looks like one person came through at some point in time. I don't think that person's even still here. The motherfucker ain't say nothing in the fucking comments. Yeah, you got all these celebrities. You got all these content creators. They talking about all this fucking stupid ass, retarded ass bullshit. Ain't none of them talking about all of these fucking victims. All these children, all these adults who were children, who are walking around with these traumas all around us at all times. It's so crazy how rampant, how normal it is to come across somebody who's like, oh yeah, I was raped when I was like fucking 12. Oh yeah, when I was 8 years old, when I was 5 years old, when I was 7 years old. Yeah. Oh yeah, that totally happened to me. Yeah, I mean, it's just like normal. I'd have met so many people that if they never would have said that, I never would have guessed that. You would never guess it just by looking at them. Everybody looks so normal, so fucking just measured. They look so, but you have no idea how many of these people are fucking out here dealing with all kinds of traumas and they're fucking keeping up the appearances like a motherfucker. And I'm talking about lots of people out here. I'm talking about some of y'all. Some of y'all got trauma. Some of y'all got horrendous experiences you never got over and you never get the help that you need. And you're dealing with that shit today. You battling it out today. This is why I do what I do. Because we as a society have failed ourselves. We have failed each other to help each other create a well-functioning society for ourselves and each other that helps us and each other. The fact that this is something that consistently happens and that is constantly talked about. This is an article from today, folks. This is an article from today. I didn't have to do a deep dive about this shit. This is on the fucking New York Post. I didn't have to find some random fucking rare local fucking blog from some guy in his basement. No, this is the New York Post. No, and regardless of how you feel about the New York Post's credibility and authenticity, they're a major fucking brand. They're a major news brand. They're highly well known. I, as a Chicagoan, have heard of and seen the New York Post. So if this is what they're reporting about what's going on in New York, what reason would I have to deny that? If anything, I question the New York Archdiocese because the credibility of Christians is non-existent at this point. Considering how these minor fuckers love to pretend like they have the greatest moral code in the world, they have a strange, super duper crazy, strange way of demonstrating that. Considering that they have the greatest rape culture in the fucking history of the fucking world. All we see is just constant rape. Just all over the place. Y'all gotta fucking do all this fucking work to try to fucking suppress it, to deny it, to censor me and stop me from putting y'all on blast every day. That's why y'all stopped me from being able to talk about it on TikTok. That's why we had to come to Substack and YouTube to talk about it. Because these minor fuckers can't argue against this. They have nothing. They have no fucking argument. They have nothing that they can say. I don't give a fuck about none of that Jesus shit. What's up with this rape shit? And why is Jesus failing to stop you fucking rapists from being in the position where you can rape? And why do people far and wide continue to ignore these facts? That these rapists are still out here raping and they ain't never gonna stop raping because they're fucking rapists. You can't pray the rape away. You know how you can't pray the gay away? You can't pray the rape away. You can't pray the rape away because prayer does not work. This is what we have tried to inform you of this whole entire time. Prayer is completely and utterly ineffective. All of the goofies that want to try so fucking hard to deny all the facts and try to say we're evil, we hate God and all this type of shit, that prayer is super duper hyper effective if we just tried maybe. Why can't they show us that it works in real life, in real situations, in real world situations like the rapists in their fucking communities? The rapists that the Lord supposedly handpicked as his representatives, as his leaders. How come every single pope has failed miserably to figure out a solution, despite the fact that they directly interface with the Lord, supposedly, despite the fact that they are supposedly the Lord's emissary? Why would the Lord not provide them with an answer right fucking now? It's not like they haven't had more than enough time. It's not like they haven't had like all the opportunity. I mean, we're talking about they got hundreds of millions of dollars that they can spend on fucking paying for the amount of rapes that they've committed in all these different cities throughout the fucking past several decades. So why don't they just ask the Lord? First of all, why can't they figure out how to stop raping? That's what I want to know. Why is that so difficult if they directly interface with the omniscient superintelligence? Why can't the omniscient superintelligence provide them with the exact answer to prevent rapists from being leaders in their communities and being put in positions to where they rape children and rape anybody that they feel the need to exploit? How do we prevent that? How can we prevent that? How can they prevent that? How can these Christians figure out how to prevent rapes in general within their communities? We're not even saying, oh, like throughout society and everywhere in the fucking world. We're talking about just from within their communities, within their fucking churches, within their fucking neighborhoods, their societies, and all that type of shit. Right? I saw an episode of Soft White Underbelly with this woman. She's like a what do they call them? Damn. Uh you know the ones that fucking like dress like they live in fucking the 1800s and shit. They'll never they pick and choose how they fucking change with the times. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking. I can't believe it's slipping my mind. Um, but the motherfuckers that churn their own brother, that shit. They ride those carriages and shit. That shit's um it's like they're very well known for having a lot of that essay stuff as a part of their culture. And this woman, like, she was describing her experience going through that while living in one of those communities. Amish. One of those Amish communities. They were Amish people. And she talked about how all this shit was happening and they would force it on her and they, of course, make up their crazy ass excuses and all that. But the sad part was that she was still on that Amish shit. She was still wearing the head wrap and doing her fucking, like, I think she was knitting or some shit, doing some crochet shit. And it was just like sad because like she was able to break free from the community, but she still subscribes to that sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. So she's still trapped in the fucking bullshit, this bullshit ideology that is not helping us at all in any way. And it's like, again, it wouldn't be such a big deal if there weren't so many people that subscribe to this shit, who ignore these truths that are clearly self-evident. All this data that we have available and these people just absolutely reject it. I mean, not all of them, right? Like, we know that they don't all reject it. Not every single one of them. I mean, one of my close friends is a super duper Christy Christian, and he gave me a lot of the scientific information I know because he works in the medical field. But he's still a super duper Christy Christian too. And even with talking to him, they ain't got no ideas. And I don't understand how that could be the case. If you have a direct connection with the super duper, super intelligent super thing, why don't y'all have any ideas? Why don't you ask it for the idea? Why can't it give you the idea? If you're going to sit here and tell me that this shit is the thing that works, then why the fuck can't you show me that it works right now? I don't understand how even people that work in science, who studied science, can't see the flaw of their logic when they subscribe to these sci-fi fantasy ideologies or these supernatural ideas. Like, what the fuck? How can people be so analytical over here, but then, like, totally divorce themselves from that over here with this fucking goofy shit? Your mind is working over here, but then you shut it off over there. Like, what's that about? Why do so many people do that? This is why we got to have these conversations, because we have to figure out if we actually want to solve these problems or if we want to just keep playing these goofy ass, dumbass bullshit games. Because if we want to solve these problems, we want to solve these real world problems, if we want to actually not destroy ourselves or allow ourselves to be destroyed, if we don't want to keep going down the path of self-destruction, then we have to decide that we're not going down that path. We have to decide that we want to reverse the course and go down the path of self-actualization. And then we have to determine what that actually means. What is self-actualization? What does that look like? What would that be like if we actually self-actualized? Why do we want to self-actualize? What does that even mean? This is why we have these conversations. Here's the definition of self-actualization. Self-actualization is the process of realizing one's full potential and capabilities, often considered the highest level of psychological development in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It involves personal growth, creativity, and the fulfillment of one's unique nature and abilities. But see, we have to self-actualize as a society. And in order to do that, well, we have to determine what that looks like. So if we're talking about the highest level in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that would mean that we would have to meet everybody's needs on this list. So not only would we be meeting all of the needs at the basic level, the basic needs, but we would reach our potential as a society. So check this out. Understanding self-actualization. Self-actualization is the highest level in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It represents the realization of one's full potential after fulfilling more basic needs. This concept emphasizes personal growth and self-fulfillment. And here are the key characteristics of self-actualizers. Right? And so it's got this list of things, and we'll go through it. I'm not going to just hold the camera up to it, but you can see what it says. Continued freshness of appreciation, profound interpersonal relationships, comfort with solitude, non-hostile sense of humor, peak experiences, social compassion, efficient perceptions of reality. You see that? You see that? Efficient perceptions of reality. This is why I do these lives for the last two shows on here. Social compassion and efficient perceptions of reality. To show humanity and empathy towards each other. And being able to judge situations and people accurately, recognizing honesty and authenticity. This is why I do this every single day. Because this is what it's all about. For us to self-actualize, what do we have to do? To self-actualize, we would have to understand truly the nature of our reality and our place in it. Understand our origins, understand our fucking actual capabilities, and reach our ultimate potential. Becoming our super selves, becoming superhuman, becoming super duper human, becoming transhuman. That's why I'm a transhumanist. Okay. And for those of you who might not be aware of what transhumanism is, basically it puts you like this: becoming super duper. Okay. All that superhero shit that y'all be loving, how about doing that shit in real life? You know what I'm saying? Enhancing our physical and cognitive abilities in ways that surpass the limitations of our basic biology. This is how we self-actualize, enhancing our capabilities, optimizing our environment, prioritizing our collective well-being and our survivability, and working together interdependently with synergy to discover the true nature and understanding of our reality. Because if we're not doing that, then what the fuck are we doing? If we are not trying to understand reality as it is, how can we self-actualize as individuals and as a human race? I don't understand it. See, a lot of y'all are too afraid to acknowledge the reality that we don't know everything. Some of y'all are so afraid of death that you don't even want to talk about it, or you would choose to believe in some sci-fi fantasy bullshit in the hopes that maybe you'll still be alive in some other way, in some other planet, in some other existence. And look, maybe it's true. Maybe that is true. But see, my thing is, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy as fuck, but to me, life is preferable to death. Life is preferable to death. So instead of these death cults that are obsessed with death and dying, obsessed with the end times. Why don't we create a society that celebrates and hyper values life? That choose to live and that choose to live in a society, to mold a society, create a society that values our lives at the utmost. Because the fact of the matter is, life is precious. This is why the Fermi paradox exists to begin with. Because with the vastness of the universe and all these astronomical celestial objects that exist, all these fucking galaxies and stars and moons and planets and goddamn asteroids and fucking all types of shit, you would think that there would be civilizations like us out there everywhere. That we could just look with a set of binoculars or some shit and see aliens all over the fucking place. Let alone a super duper, super amazing, super powerful telescope. But even with the Hubble Space Telescope orbiting the Earth and the James Webb Space Telescope at the L2 Lagrange point right now, studying all these galaxies and celestial objects in the infrared, discovering galaxies that existed with redshifting that have never been seen before in the entire history of humanity. We have yet to find clear-cut, concrete proof of intelligent alien life. So that goes to show you that consciousness, sentience, sapience are rare throughout the fucking universe, which means that life is precious. Therefore, we should be valuing life at the utmost, and we need to do everything possible to actually work to understand it instead of wasting our time with these sci-fi fantasy ideologies that don't help us understand shit other than how delusional people can constantly rape kids on a constant basis. Because otherwise, it's not helping us understand biology. It's not helping us understand chemistry. It's not helping us with drug discovery. It's not helping us develop better fucking surgical practices or anything like. It's not these sci-fi fantasy ideologies are not helping us in any tangible, meaningful way that would benefit our society. If they did, I would be the biggest staunchest supporter. I mean, I used to be a Christian once upon a time. I literally attended a Christian college specifically to deepen my knowledge of this sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. And I minored in philosophy so that I could understand logic, so that I could articulate this sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit until I realized through further study and education that this is sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. I couldn't make heads or tails of it. It didn't make any sense. If I pray so much every day, then why the fuck are people getting murdered still? Why the fuck is all these horrible things happening? Why is my life not better? Why am I still lonely and fucking angry as fucking sad as fuck? It took me so long to realize I was wasting my time. That these ideologies don't actually help shit. That's why we're 85 seconds to midnight. That's why these people work so hard to try to stop us. They want midnight to happen. They want it to happen. They're fighting to make it happen. And this is one of the solutions to the Fermi paradox that I'm afraid of. The great filter scenario. The idea that the reason why we may not see intelligent alien life is because for some fucking reason, there could be all types of civilizations out there like us. But considering what we're going through right now, considering the fact that we're 85 seconds to midnight, basically on the road to potential self-destruction, imagine this occurs to every civilization out there. That they become the cause of their own destruction, that they fail miserably to shore up all of the existential threats that face them, and something ends up taking them out. And this happens in every case. Considering the fact that we're on the same path And considering how little has been done by the powers that be to even acknowledge, let alone address these issues, it could be the exact solution to the Fermi paradox, particularly what I call the eschatological great filter scenario. As I've told y'all, eschatology is basically the obsession with the end of the world, with Armageddon and Revelations and all that crazy shit. The end times, all that dumb shit, doomsday, the rapture, all that crazy shit, right? Like, so the eschatological great filter scenario is the idea that our society is so obsessed with the end times that they literally do everything possible to manifest the end times so that they can prove that their fucking prophecy was totally schmodally the truth. Why they would want to prove that prophecy, I have no fucking idea. So that's why I do what I do too, because I want to disprove this bullshit prophecy. I want to disprove this great filter scenario so that we can at least ensure that that's not the reason that we, as a matter of fact, to ensure that we don't fucking destroy ourselves at all. We focus on this particular one because 200 million Americans subscribe to Christianity. 200 million Americans don't seem to give a fuck that we're 85 seconds to midnight. And 200 million Americans don't come together every fucking week to talk about this shit. They come together every fucking week, but they don't come together to talk about this. They come together to talk about what it says in Mark and Luke and John and fucking Galatians and Genesis and Leviticus and Exodus and fucking Numbers and fucking Psalms and Proverbs and all that shit. First and Second Thessalonians and all that dumb shit. But we're 85 seconds to midnight. Who cares? The Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That's a major fucking problem. Why are they so cool with that? Why are they happy? Why are they happy with that? That sounds suicidal. That sounds stupid as fuck. That sounds dangerous as fuck. That's crazy as fuck. Why would you not want to ensure that we all live and survive? Like, the issue isn't even being obsessed with the end times, right? I can understand why you might be obsessed with end times, but I would think that you would be obsessed because you want to like stop it from happening, that you would want to prevent it from happening, that you'd always want to fuck good time. Be gonna have a funk good time. No, you want to die. You want death to come. You want Jesus to come and take you to heaven. You can't tell me where heaven is. You can't show me where Jesus is, but you somehow believe he's going to come through and take you up there, somewhere up there, wherever there is. You want that to happen, but why? Why? Why wouldn't you want Super Happy Go Funland to be here in real life on Earth and wherever we decide to lay our hat, where we can go out there in the space and create every possible heaven everywhere, in every space habitat, terraforming planets and shit, creating planets, traveling to different galaxies, figuring out how to move faster than light. Maybe we can use fucking wormholes and we can fucking travel all across the universe, going to different galaxies, and maybe that's how we figure out, there is other life. There's other civilizations in other galaxies. It's just that this fucking rare as fuck. There's like maybe one fucking civilization per galaxy or some shit. Maybe it's 5 civilizations per galaxy. And it just so happens that the other 4 are on the other side of the fucking Milky Way. And that's how it is in all galaxies. How about we do the things that would actually help us to figure this shit the fuck out so we can actually have the fucking answer? So that we can have actual answers, so that we don't have to guess and assume and fucking hypothesize. We can have the data points. We can literally have the data points to say, okay, this is what it looks like over here. That's what it looks like over there. We got this, we got that. Here's the giant super intergalactic map that we've created with our super duper telescope, right? Shout out to Bill Collector with my super duper scope. We have the super duper scope, and we can super duper scope out shit in the universe. Instead of just saying that this mysterious force out there somewhere supposedly did this and did that and says this and says that and doesn't like this and doesn't like that. It hates fags, but it loves craft foods, but it hates crawfish. It only likes fucking when you eat bitches on the fucking second Sabbath of Thursday morning. But if you do it after midnight, then you have sinned and now you have to die because of some crazy. Yo. The time for that shit is over with. If there is some creature or some being or some supernatural, super intelligent, super thing that you claim is so real, now is the time to show us. It is 6:35 p.m. Central Standard Time at the time of me recording this on February the 5th, 2026. If this thing is so real and so true, show us. Show us that you have an efficient perception of reality by demonstrating this supernatural super thing to me right the fuck now. If you're watching this and you claim there's the supernatural super thing, show me the exact coordinates that we can find the super thing. Show me how we can actually detect the super thing. Provide me with the literal, actual, replicable, whatever the fuck the word is. The methodology that's easy to replicate. That we can replicate right now, that demonstrates your claim of the supernatural, super intelligent, super entity, the triumvirate, triforce, trinity thing, that thing. You know what I'm saying? The 3-in-1, the 1-in-3, the cable, internet, and the motherfucking phone package that you got from Xfinity or whatever fucking service you're talking about. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit GPT app. Show us where we can access the app and get the answers that demonstrate your fucking crazy ass bullshit. It's 2026. You can't just keep saying shit. That's why I do these live. So that you can come through and show me live in real time this crazy shit you're talking about. Show me that it's not crazy by demonstrating it. We don't need to have debates. We don't need to keep going back and forth for any retarded ass reason. It's time to put up or shut up. It's time to actually start demonstrating facts. You know, like when you were in class, right? And your teacher made you do like a project? You know, like a presentation, and you had to present it to the class. Yeah, you got to do that same shit. Except you got to do it here. We're doing it live. Fuck it. We're doing it live. Fuck it. Fucking thing sucks. So it's time to do it live. So if you claim you got the truth, show us live. Show us live. I don't want to hear no talk. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear any arguments. I don't want to hear any, well, what do you think happens after we die? Shut the fuck up with that bitch made ass bullshit and show us the supernatural super thing. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear, well, if there's no God, then we have no purpose. Shut the fuck up with that nihilistic ass bullshit. The exact opposite is true. With there being no God, we have an even more important purpose. That's why it's even more important that you hear what the fuck I gotta say. Ain't no God nowhere. You can't show me, you can't show us, you can't ever show us. You've had a multi-thousand-year head start, and you've miserably failed. 200 million Christians here in America, 2.4 billion Christians out there in the world. Not a single one can show us that there is a supernatural super anything. Not a Father or Son, the Holy Spirit, no nothing. Not one of the two, not two of the three, not three of the three is zero. A big fat zero of the three. You got nothing. You got literally zero things. You have no thing. There is no thing at all that you can show us. The supposed thing that created everything, there's just no thing at all. That's why we do these lives, to demonstrate to the world that despite the hundreds of millions of you, this paradox, what I call the ultimate rage paradox, that there's millions of you, billions of you, millions and billions of you, you've had thousands of years to come up with something of value, something tangible, something convincing, something that can have me really seriously question and ponder what the fuck y'all are talking about because y'all got the evidence and y'all ain't got shit. How is that possible? How the fuck are y'all still seriously standing here in front of my face, sitting here in front of my face, literally trying to gaslight me, telling me about this thing that you can't show me. You can't show me, and you can't show me, you can't show me, you can't show me, you can't show me. But you got every excuse in the fucking, but what else am I supposed to tell you? It's not really a physical thing. God is like your mindset. God is actually like outside space and time. God is in another dimension. God is just like a metaphor. God is like inside of your heart and your mind and your soul. But God is, didn't you look at the beautiful trees? Don't you think God made those? God made those. Watchmaker argument. God made it. Who else could have made it? Beelzebub couldn't have done it. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. So how do you? We don't need to deal with none of that, fam. All you got to do is show us right the fuck now. Look, it's 6:39 p.m. Central Time. You still have failed to show us anything. And these people will never show us anything because they can't. It is not true. It is false. I think it is clear by now that we can dismiss these fucking goofies, that we can use the Hitchens razor. That which can be presented without evidence can be dis the fuck missed without evidence. It can just be moved the fuck out. I mean, because again, as I've mentioned countless times through history, should I say, as I've mentioned countless times on these lives, throughout my fucking social media history, we are literally experiencing race conditions. This is what happens when you give endless amount of time to something that doesn't fucking work. There has to be at some point you put a limit on this shit that clearly doesn't work. Otherwise, you're going to experience race conditions. Race conditions is when you experience a system failure as a result to unfettered processes that literally fail to work. It's like, say, the unlimited growth model, right? Look at the state of our society. We're 128th on the Global Peace Index. We're 85 seconds to midnight. We're being bombarded with microplastics and forever chemicals in the air, water, soil, and food supply at all times. We got a motherfucking pile of garbage on the Pacific coast the size of fucking Texas. And we don't know how to fucking fully clean it up because we're dirty as fuck. And this shit doesn't get talked about. I mean, they don't hardly ever talk about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch on any mainstream network. When have they ever talked about it on any mainstream network? I'm talking about CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox News, fucking The Blaze, or any of these fucking goofy ass motherfuckers in the mainstream that have all these fucking press passes and all that shit. When do they ever talk about any of that shit? Never. We got to talk about it because these fuckers have failed miserably to address it. They're the ones who helped cause the problem. They're the people who helped cause the problem. The very ones who should be solving the problem, they're the ones causing the problem because they're the ones benefiting from these conditions, which is why these conditions exist. You always got to look at who benefits. The ones who got all the resources obviously benefit. That's why they're the ones who are failing miserably to help us solve the problem. That's why we have these race conditions. That's why we're 85 seconds to midnight. That's why we keep getting closer and closer and closer every fucking year on the doomsday clock, closer to midnight every year. Even though all the people with all the money and all the fucking reach and all these political hopefuls and all these politicians in office, they spend all this money on campaigns to fail miserably to address any of this shit because it's not in their fucking purview and they don't seem to give a fuck. That's why us, the people, we have to be the ones to talk about this shit. We have to be the ones to tell these minor fuckers to not get the fuck off. This shit is not helping. It's not working. That's how we got these race conditions. That's why the system is failing. That's why the government is just constantly just shutting down every other fucking year. We just had the longest shutdown ever last year, something like 42 days or some shit like that. And then we just had another shutdown just the other day. And in a couple weeks, if they don't figure out the Department of Homeland Security, that's finna fucking shut down. What we're seeing is a failure to communicate. For real. These fuckers don't know what they're doing. Either that or this is by design. So either they're incompetent as fuck or their fucking goals are misaligned with our goals. These minor fuckers who claim they're working to protect national security are literally the very ones who are endangering our national security. Every time law enforcement kills a citizen, they're violating our Fifth Amendment rights, especially if they're using the fact that this one citizen they killed whose Fifth Amendment rights they violated because that same citizen was exercising their Second Amendment rights. You're doubly fucking and pissing and shitting and barfing all over the Constitution. The same Constitution that they swore to Jesus that doesn't exist. They swore to uphold and they failed miserably. That's why we have these conversations. That's why we do these lives. That's why we hold these bitch ass goofies accountable. Because every single day we have to live with the fact that these fuckers either they're failing miserably or they're doing this shit on purpose. In either case, they need to stop. This is not. This is untenable, fam. This shit cannot continue if we are to continue to survive and thrive and become a well-functioning society. How can we be a well-functioning society if we are a danger to ourselves? If the very law enforcement motherfuckers, minor fuckers, are the ones violating the law. You can't enforce a law that you violate every day, because then what's the point of law enforcement? What's the point of having it? You might as well be a motherfucking anarchy then, because that's basically what you described to me. That sounds like anarchy. Well, actually, it sounds more like malarkey. That sounds like a bunch of malarkey, actually. I'm supposed to respect law enforcement, and they don't even respect their own law. That's crazy as fuck. That's why we're a crazyocracy, or more specifically, a hyper-capitalist, plutocratic, oligarchical, kakistocratic, kleptocratic, gerontocratic, theocratic, idiocratic, craziocratic, techno-feudalist corporatocracy. A nation run by a bunch of rich, old, bitch-made-ass, crybaby-ass, thieving-ass, conniving-ass, stupid-ass, goofy-ass, unqualified-ass, greedy-ass Jesus freaks who don't know shit about fuck other than being bitch-ass simps for the rich, the banks, the corporations, the churches. Stealing from us, giving it to them, and gaslighting us on a constant basis because they're getting theirs. Hey, they got their money. They got rich, right? Plutocracy, rich. Motherfuckers rich. Got all the power, oligarchy. You feel what I'm saying? Giving it to the rich, the banks, the corporations, and the churches. And acting like this is somehow in our best interest, despite I just showed y'all, and I'll show y'all again because I always show y'all. I show y'all, I show y'all, I show y'all, because that's what I do. I show. I don't just tell, I show. I show and tell. I tell and show. Like I said, it's 85 seconds to midnight. These bitch-ass goofies got all this money. They got all these billions of dollars. They can spend hundreds of millions of dollars in restitution for rape, which they should. I mean, they shouldn't be raping in the first place. The Lord should have been able to tell them at some point in time, hey, not a good idea, because he has the super duper amazing moral code somehow. But yeah, you should try to do something about this midnight shit. You should probably figure out a solution like right the fuck now. Because you have all the answers, right? So where the fucking answers at? Provide us with the answers right now. Matter of fact, don't even give us answers. Show us the answer. Show us you have the answer. Literally demonstrate to us right now that you have the answer. And if not, shut the fuck up and move the fuck around. Move that retarded ass, goofy ass, stupid ass, lame ass, useless ass, baseless ass, unjustified ass bullshit. The fuck around right now. Stop talking to us about this sci-fi fantasy ass bullshit. It don't work. It don't work. It don't work. It won't work. It can't work. It's not correct. It is inaccurate. It is unreal. It literally fails to comply, to comport, to align with, to match up with our reality that we actually share and inhabit. I don't see any angels nowhere. I don't see any demons anywhere. I don't see any Beelzebub. I don't see the Satan. I don't see the devil. I don't see the devil. I don't see the devil nowhere. I don't see the Lord. I don't see the Father, the Son, and or the Holy Spirit anywhere. Y'all can't provide us with a detection method, a location method, a communication method, or any kind of method. You think doing this is like some kind of a method? It's not. It's not, because we're live. You can't show us how you can do this and accomplish anything. Because if you could, you'd have been did that. Y'all record church every fucking Sunday, and y'all sell that crack, trash ass, scam ass bullshit every fucking week on DVD, or probably on pay per view, on live stream, or some shit. Y'all getting the money. But what are you giving to society? How are you addressing this 85 seconds to midnight shit at all? What's the solutions that y'all can drum up? Oh, right, y'all ain't even trying. Y'all ain't even trying. Y'all meet up every fucking week. Y'all pay y'all membership fees every week. These fucking churches are making hella bank. Hella bank. They got all the money, fam. Hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements all over the country by these archdioceses. So they got the money. They got the people. They got the population, 2/3 of the fucking country. So what's the excuse? They claim they got the ultimate supernatural super weapon. So what's the issue? What's the holdup? What's the discrepancy here? Why are we not number one on the global peace index? I mean, if we set the bar low, can we at least get in the top 100? Can we at least make the top 100? Why can't you do at least that right now? Or any point in time. It's not like y'all haven't had more than enough time. For what y'all claim y'all provide to society, I'm unimpressed. I'm completely, totally, and utterly unimpressed. If this is the best that y'all can do, if this is considered greatness to you, if you think this is being the greatest country in the world, you're retarded as fuck. Something is wrong with your crazy ass fucking brain. Because this is suboptimal as fucking, there's no fucking way your crazy ass mind can think that this is the best we can do. If this is the best that you can do, get the fuck out. Get your crazy ass the fuck up out of your seat, get the fuck out of your office, go the fuck home, and fucking take your fucking meds, you fucking loony. Matter of fact, go check yourself into. Matter of fact, let's move you to Florida so we can get you Baker acted so that you can be involuntarily committed because something is clearly wrong with your crazy ass mind. If your fucking focus is not on helping us improve as a society in tangible, meaningful ways that improve our collective ability to survive and thrive, your ideology, your mindset is useless, loony, crazy. Get the fuck out. You don't need to be in any position of fucking making decisions. You don't need to be in any position of law enforcement. You don't need to be in any position of politics where you're a lawmaker, where you literally get to vote on anything, where you get to have an impact on anything. You need to be in a padded room on suicide watch, being forced to take your fucking meds, being force fed or some shit. Because something is wrong with your mind. And as I state all the time, we are in the midst of a mental health and substance abuse crisis. That's why I created OD9, so that we can actually recognize that people out here are fucked in the head. People need help. We all need help because we're all retarded. We all got the microplastics crossing our blood-brain barrier. We all have the forever chemicals in our bodies at all times. We're all eating the suboptimal quality food. Okay? And we're all 85 seconds to midnight, all of us. This isn't a Chicago thing. This isn't a fucking black people thing. This isn't a man versus woman thing. This is a human thing. And despite all the sci-fi fantasy lunacy, despite all the bitch-made ass trolls that come out the woodworks talking hella shit in the comments so that they can say, oh, you're fat. Oh, you look like this. Oh, you need to quit. Oh, you need to. First of all, that shit isn't gonna fucking stop me at all. If you think that you're gonna affect me with your whole ass trolling, something is wrong with you. Okay? We move you loonies around because clearly you're a loony. If you're not helping, you're hurting. So you loonies that are wanting to hurt, cool, move the fuck around. You can do your hurting over there. You can do your loony, trolly, banoli, bullshit, baloney shit over there. You can move the fuck around for me with that shit. We are a solutions-oriented fucking community. We're not about making excuses and hoping and wishing. We're about action. That's why I need your help. If you're a real one, then you see what it is, because real recognize real. All I care about is the truth. That's why I'm not wedded to any political party. That's why you never see me cheering for the Democrats or the Republicans. Democrat, Republican, Republican, Democrat, Democrat, Republican, Republican, Democrat. Because both major parties have failed miserably to help us create a well-functioning society for ourselves. That's why they can't get on the same page. Because, see, we live in the information age, but they're living in the disinformation age. They want to spread bullshit, useless garbage so that they can continue gaslighting us on a constant basis, extracting resources from us so that we can keep enabling, enriching, and empowering them. We need to change the dynamic so that it's the other way around. They need to be enriching, enabling, and empowering us because they are the ones that are supposed to be helping us, not the other way around. So if they can't show us that they're helping us, then they can move the fuck around too. That's why I need you to hit that like, hit that follow, subscribe, hook your boy up, go to offtheline.com, check out the music, check out the links, fucking hit the support page, donate what you can, because this is the only way we can solve their failures. We got to beat capitalism at its own game. We got to pull our resources together and we got to work interdependently with synergy to create the infrastructure that will solve what they couldn't, what they won't, what they refuse. Because they have had all the opportunity, they got all the resources, they got all the manpower, they got all the availability. They're just miserable, delusional failures. So we got to continue to build our community. We need to continue to grow. I need your help. Together, we will succeed because we know what our purpose is. Our purpose is to master our reality, to shape and condition our reality for our collective benefit, to maximize our optimal state so that we can reach our ultimate potential, so that we can discover the true nature of our reality and ultimately maximize our cognition and our physical mental capabilities. Otherwise, what the fuck else is there to do? Just die? Fuck that. Be bitch ass simps for corporations? Fuck that. Be bitch ass simps for hoe ass celebrities? Fuck that. Be bitch ass simps for these lying ass politicians? Fuck that. Listen to these media analysts and political wonks and talking heads and pundits bullshit us all day. Motherfuck that. It's time we start taking it to them. It's time we start holding them accountable. Hey, why the fuck ain't y'all talking about this? What the fuck are you hoe ass motherfuckers gonna do about this shit? You're not gonna figure it out right now? Get the fuck out. Move the fuck around. Give me that shit. I'll figure it out. Hey guys, look, here's what we're gonna fucking do. We're gonna fucking work together interdependently with synergy to force these motherfuckers to actually do the work, or we're gonna do it for them. We'll fucking get all of the fucking best fucking intellects, all of the best scientists, all the fucking industries, all the companies that actually want to fucking help us with this shit. We're gonna get them to fucking do the shit we need them to do, or we're gonna slap the shit out of all of them. We're gonna take over the shit and make them do it anyway. Either way, we're making them do it. The time is now. That's why I need you to hit offtheline.com, subscribe, follow, head to my YouTube, youtube.com/@theultimaterage. Okay? This is how we fucking change the world. Okay? We all we got. We got each other. That's all we need. We are the solution. We, us, together. If we truly unite, that's the solution right there. So hit that follow, hit that like, share the fucking content everywhere. Leave a comment. Hook your boy the fuck up. Stop playing the fuck around. Stop with that trolly ass bullshit. Let's be pro-social. Let's help each other out. We are all we got. Ain't no magical man, ain't no supernatural superhero, Iron Man, Batman, fucking Spider-Man, Hollow Man. Ain't no Superman coming through the same shit. It's just me. It's just us. It's just you. It's us together. That's the super shit. That's how we make the superhuman come through. If you watch the fucking Captain Planet, what happened? The people came together, put their fucking rings together, and then Captain Planet came. So if we want to call Captain Planet to come and save shit. Well, we gotta come together to make it happen. Otherwise, what the fuck do you expect to happen? Magic? No. This is the real world, and we gotta act like it. That's the only way, so we can reach our true potential. So thank you for coming through. All of you who've been watching, thank you for fucking with your boy. Like I said, hit that like, hit that follow, share everywhere, leave a comment, let me know what the fuck you think. Holla at your motherfucking boy, off9.com, off9.com. Stay smooth. Stop being bitch-ass simps and hoes for these lames and these loonies and these psychos. Have some better self-respect than that. Stand on your own too. Stop being bitch-ass simps for fucking loonies. That's how we got to this mental health and substance abuse crisis. Too many motherfuckers out here be letting these loonies fucking give you value. Fuck that. You are your own value. Your life in and of itself is precious because you exist. That's why we have to do this shit. Because I don't know about you, but I love life. And as hard as it gets at times, I still prefer to live as opposed to dying. I don't want to die. All those days, all those bad days, I don't want to die. Right? Like, I have suicidal thoughts, yeah, but not because I want to commit suicide, but because I'm tired of the pain of struggling, the pain of feeling no fucking self-respect or self-worth, right? That's why we gotta have these conversations. That's why I hate all these bullshit restrictions. That's why I hate all this PC-ass garbage. That's why I hate all the sanitation of language. Because this fucking PC-ass garbage, all these bullshit-ass fucking sponsors have watered down everything so much that we can't even talk about these issues. I know that I'm going to have videos that are going to get age restricted, even though the youth are the people who need this information the most because they are the future. They are literally the future. They need to be armed with the truth as much as possible, the accurate, honest, unadulterated truth that they need to know about reality, about our existence, about humanity, and about the importance of getting our shit together now as soon as possible before it's too late. All right? Let's bring some sense to this crazy-ass world once and for all. This has been another awesome episode of the No Cap Zone, a place where we have a super duper crazy strict ass dress code. Knock it the hell off with that capping ass crazy shit. The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap. Otherwise, you got to move the fuck around and get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my fucking face. Get the fuck off my shit. Because around here, all we care about are the facts, the truth, the data, the information, the statistics, the evidence, things that can actually be demonstrated in real life, in real time, while we're alive, while we're of sound mind, and while we're sane. Because otherwise, I don't know what the fuck these goofies is out here talking about. And to be honest with you, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's why we have to talk about it starting right now. Holla back at your motherfucking boy. Be back on tomorrow. Fucking off the9.com. Off the9.com.